Next letter on our list is Sal. Sal is a light letter, and here it's isolated, initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the initial Sal example, we have intelligence, which is pronounced taka. We have gold, which is pronounced hahib. And we have climax, which is pronounced sanwa. For the middle Sal, we have window, which is pronounced nafita. We have shoes, which is pronounced hitha, and we have food, which is pronounced jitna. And for the terminal tal example, we have pupil, which is pronounced dilmis. We have urchin, which is pronounced kyunfut, and we have wine, which is pronounced nabis. Next letter we have on our list is ra. Here it's isolated, initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the initial ra, we have head, which is pronounced ras. We have feather, which is pronounced reka, and we have dance, which is pronounced rak. For middle ra, we have corn, which is pronounced sura. We have tree, which is pronounced shahara, and we have chair, which is pronounced kursi. And for the terminal ra, we have juice, which is pronounced ishi. We have river, which is pronounced nar, and we have rain, which is pronounced matar. Next letter we have is Zai. Zai is a light letter, and here it's isolated initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the initial Zai, we have oil, which is pronounced Zait. We have raisins, which is pronounced Zahib. And we have time, which is pronounced Zaman. For the middle Zai, we have bell, which is pronounced Huzam. We have deer, which is pronounced Gazar. And we have stored, which is pronounced Mukstan. And for the terminal Zai, we have treasure, which is pronounced Kanz. We have inability, which is pronounced Edge. And we have winner, which is pronounced Faiz. Next up, we have Sin. Sin is a light letter, and as usual, it has its own isolated initial, middle, and terminal shapes. For the, for example, we have cloud, which is pronounced Sahab, and Salam, which is for English is peace, and sky, which is pronounced Sama. For the terminal scene, we have sacred, which is pronounced Mukadas, clothes, which is pronounced Malabis, and pistol, which is pronounced Musadas. Next letter we have is Shin. Shin is a light letter, and here it's isolated initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the initial Shin we have is sun, which is pronounced Shamas. We have street, which is pronounced Shari. And we have east, which is pronounced Shar. For the middle Shin, we have insect, which is pronounced Ashara. We have wood, which is pronounced Kashab. And we have butterfly, which is pronounced Fashaha. And for the terminal Shin, we have coat, which is pronounced Jahish. We have thirst, which is pronounced Itash. And we have monster, which is pronounced Wash. Next, we have sod. Sod is a heavy letter. Here its shapes depending on its location for the isolated, initial, middle, and terminal. For the initial sod, we have hawk, which is pronounced sakar. We have fisherman, which is pronounced shayad. And we have rocket, which is pronounced sharuk. For middle sod, we have onions, which is pronounced basil. We have horse, which is pronounced hisa. And we have juice, which is pronounced ishir. For the terminal sod, we have scissors, which is pronounced mikas. We have shirt, which is pronounced kamis. When we have cage, which is pronounced kafas. Next up, we have dod. Dod is a heavy letter which has its own isolated initial, middle, and terminal shapes. For the initial dod example, we have daft, which is English word for guess. We have noise, which is pronounced dajij, and we have frog, which is pronounced teda. For middle dot, we have vegetables, which is pronounced kudar. We have infant, which is pronounced Radri, and we have sport, which is pronounced Hidaya. And for the terminal dot, we have white, which is pronounced Abiad, we have land, which is pronounced Ard, and we have Sor, which is pronounced Hamud. Next letter we have is Ta. Ta is a heavy letter, and here its shapes. We have its isolated, initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the examples of Ta, we have table, which is pronounced Taliwa. We have drum, which is pronounced Tabl. And we have student, which is pronounced Talib. Next up, we have Sa. Sa is sounds like and looks like Ta. It's also a heavy letter, and here its shapes according to its location. We have its isolated, initial, middle, and terminal shape. For the initial ta, we have back as an organ. We have tar. We have phenomenon, which is tahira, and we have he thought, which is sign. For the middle ta, we have job, which is watifa. We have cleanliness, which is Nathala, and we have note, which is Mulhata. For the terminal ta, we have say, which is pronounced Hind. We have he got up, which is pronounced Stayaka, and we have ride, which is pronounced Fati. Next up, we have Ain. Ain is a light letter, and here its shapes. For the example, for the initial Ain, we have spider, which is pronounced Ein Kabut. We have juice, which is pronounced Aiser, and we have mine, which is pronounced Akir. For the middle Ain, we have teacher, which is pronounced Murayim. We have farm, which is pronounced Mazra. When we have crossing, which is pronounced Maabar. For the terminal Ain, we have section, which is pronounced Makata. We have radio, which is pronounced Mitiraha, and we have Hina, which is pronounced Dabi. Next letter we have is Gain. Gain is a heavy letter, and here its shapes. For its example, in the initial Gain we have forest, which is pronounced Gaba. We have cloud, which is pronounced Guyum, and we have deer, which is pronounced Giza. For the middle Gain we have language, which is pronounced Lola. We have magnet, which is pronounced Magitis, and we have closure, which is pronounced Kolak. And for the terminal gain, we have empty, which is pronounced Farke. We have brain, which is pronounced Dimaj, and we have report, which is pronounced Tablige. Next letter we have is Fa. Fa is a light letter, and here its shapes. For its examples, we have for the initial Fa, we have mouth, which is pronounced Ram. We have fruit, which is pronounced Fakida, and we have gold, which is pronounced hmm. And for the middle fa, we have apple, which is pronounced tuta. We have cage, which is pronounced katais, and we have baby kid, which is pronounced til. For the terminal fa, we have row, which is pronounced saf. We have sheep, which is pronounced charuf, and we have guess, which is pronounced daif. Next up, we have kaf. Kaf is a heavy letter, and here is its shapes. For the initial kaf, we have cage, which is pronounced kafas. We have word, which is pronounced kafa, and we have roar, which is pronounced kwezib. For the middle fa, ikaf, we have scissors, which is pronounced mokas. We have hammer, which is pronounced mitraka, and we have hawk, which is pronounced sakir. And for the terminal kaf, we have stork, which is pronounced lak lak, when we have friend, which is pronounced Sadiq, and we have neck, which is pronounced Onuka.